Hi, I'm Sue Willoughby.
And I'm Mark Chavez from the Seattle Windermere Mountain Baker office. And we are here to...
Well, we've had a lot of questions from our clients that, new first-time home buyers may not know the process. And even if the people are returning to the market or selling their home for the first time that they've lived in for 20 years, there's a lot involved. So we're here to demystify, clarify, and turn our clients into savvy home buyers and sellers. What do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. I think my approach, and I think we're similar as we talk and work together, is the most important thing is to empower our clients, to educate them so they know the market and they're making strong decisions very quickly because, as you and I have experienced, the market here is moving very quickly. So yes. You have to make quick decisions. So the more that you understand the process, the more that you understand how the market is shifting and how to be competitive either as a seller or as a buyer, especially first-time home buyers, this will really help.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let's jump into it.
Okay, perfect.
All
That's
right.
it.
So we've this is an overview, so we've honed it down to 8 steps in the process for buying a home. Step number 1.
Finding an agent.
Finding an agent.
So why finding an agent is that step number 1?
Well, I think you're going to need an agent to help you navigate the sometimes turbulent waters of buying or selling. Mm-hmm. But right now we're talking about buying, so finding an agent that is a good fit for you is really important. It's knowledge of the market and of the process and of real estate in general. You want to have somebody that's experienced, knows what they're doing, but they also have to be a good personality fit for you. And not every agent is gonna, it's like dating.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things about that too is you want an agent who's working in this full-time as their primary job.
Exactly.
Because that means that they are spending more time doing the research, they're spending more time looking at what the market is doing, how it's shifting, going out to looking at homes. Mm-hmm. So they're spending more time, so they're living this day in, day out. And I like it. I like how you make a reference to it's like dating, because it is. Mm-hmm. When you're selecting your client, when your client is selecting the agent, it's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
Because I may like you, and you may not like me, or maybe we just may not click, together to be able to work together. Mm-hmm. So I think I like that terminology of, dating. So I think I'm going to use that. It's like a first date.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. So if you meet somebody at an open house and they're just getting started, they give you a call back. You say, well, let's go grab coffee and let's just chat and see if their personalities fit, mm-hmm. and then we can take it from there. So making sure that it's a good match on both sides, then I think that's step 1.
Perfect. I like that, and it's true. So second step is getting your financing in order, getting pre-qualified.
Yes.
Slight distinction, I know we're going to talk about this later in one of our other videos, but there's a difference between being pre-approved and pre-qualified. You want to go with the pre-qualified. That tends to go through underwriting. And
let me straighten you out on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Oh my God. Oops, sorry.
That's why we're here, folks. It's very confusing.
It's the pre-approval.
Right.
That's what you want. You want to be pre-approved because that's the one that goes through underwriting.
So, for example, you can go online and fill out a loan application, and they'll send you an automated thing back that says, "Oh, you're pre-qualified for $800,000." Well, great. Then, when they get all your paperwork in, they may say, and you go through the pre-approval process, you may only have the ability to purchase a home at around $600,000. So you need to go through pre-qualification is a great first step, but if you're going to go out into the market, start shopping for homes, you need to be pre-approved, and that means meeting with a lender, mm-hmm. supplying all of your paperwork, and then they actually take your application through the first stage of the underwriting process.
Yes.
And then you can go out and shop for a home and feel super confident that you have You have your financing, that you're a solid buyer.
Well, also, I mean, the other thing with that is you're looking at homes that are within the price range that you can afford, and more importantly, in the price range of the mortgage payment that you want.
Right.
So I remember years ago when my parents bought that they'd go and they'd look at houses and then they do the financing to see if they qualified for the house.
Yeah.
So I personally love the process that it is now, because it's like, this is what you are pre-approved for, and this is what you're approved. So go look at houses within that price range.
Right, and then you're not as disappointed.
Yes.
Also, when you make an offer, you're a stronger candidate.
Correct.
So, awesome.
So that takes us right into step 3.
Step 3, you've got your agent, you've got your pre-approval.
Yes.
And now you've got to determine your home criteria. What does that mean?
So, I think a lot of us, when we're going to start looking for a house, you have an idea of what you want in a house. And, people have always said, and, I think it still sticks, it's location, 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 the top 3 things. But honing down that criteria, and I think, we were talking about this past weekend, and we were talking about when there's multiple people, so you and your partner are looking to buy a home. You may have one concept of what is the ideal home for you. Your partner may have a different concept. So it's, getting on the same page. So you're looking for the ideal home for you as a family, or people who are buying the homes together.
And your criteria could involve everything from not just location, style of home, number of bedrooms, yard, no yard. Maybe you want something that's low maintenance. Okay, well, that's looking more at a townhouse or a condominium. So there's a lot of factors involved. And Seattle is a unique city in that there's a lot of neighborhoods. So every neighborhood has its own personality. And if someone's new to the area, they may have their ideal home in mind, but I like to have them, go out and explore the different neighborhoods. You could discover that, you fall in love with Ballard and you didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. I mean,
or Columbia City.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. We are currently in our Windermere living room location in Columbia City, and it is a great location. A lot of people are gravitating down to the south, especially to this area, because the prices in Seattle have just gotten so expensive that now there's more development happening down here, and there's such a mix of homes. So I think it's really good for you to go out, just like you said, go out and explore the neighborhoods.
Whether you're in Seattle, whether you're in Austin, it doesn't matter where you are. Find the neighborhood that's right for you. Okay? Schools, churches, whatever's important. And then, yeah. So, step 4.
What is it? Oh, touring.
Touring.
Yeah,
so everybody wants to skip the first 3 steps and just get in the car and go look at houses. So,
but that's a fun part.
Of course it's the fun part. Exactly.
Home shopping. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
So, what do you do, when you have a client and you're going to start your home shopping step 4?
Okay. So I set up a search criteria for them online, or they may want to look at some of the other online apps or whatever. Anyway, I give them homes that I think fit their criteria, and then they may send me other listings that fit their criteria. So we set a date to go out and look at a few homes. There's kind of a sweet spot. If you look at too many, then they all become the same thing, and it's just a blur. But when we go out, I like to print out the listing paperwork that has all the information about the house. I give them a copy, and I keep a copy. That way, when we go into each house, we're both looking at the same information, and they can take notes right on that listing sheet. And then when they come out, I like to have a little debrief and say, so what did you think about that? Because I try and observe their reaction to the house, and they may walk in, turn around, and walk right out. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll just check that one right out the list. But it's still good to have get feedback at the end of each house rather than at the end of the day, because it's just overwhelming at that point. So that's kind of the way I like to do it. Yeah. Everybody makes notes.
Yeah, and very similar. I give them material for them to kind of make notes on the house that we're looking at too, and that debrief and that reaction of just watching them, because sometimes you don't even need to say anything. It's just the reaction. You walk into the house and you just think just light up with excitement because it's an awesome home. Sometimes they walk into a house and they're just like, whoosh, And you're just like, okay, that
Right.
don't even need to ask.
Exactly.
Walk one step in and one step out. And I think it's fun. I personally like doing the test run with home shopping, where let's just go and see, explore the process, how this is going to happen before we really start getting serious at looking at houses and ideal homes.
The other way that they can tour on their own is open houses. So sometimes, they may want to just go out and as a home buyer, you may just want to go out and poke around on your own and say, hey, I saw this awesome open house. Can we go back and look at it together when there's not 20 people in it? Sure, let's do that. So that's another good way for, And
I think we both, and we talked about this, so, we both encourage you to go out to open houses. Let them know that you're already working with, with your agent, and sometimes they'll even ask who it is because they probably know us, or your agent. But it's a great way for you to go, and especially if the listing agent is the one having the open house, you can ask them great questions about the house that they would know because it's their house that they're selling.
Yes.
So strongly encourage, open houses. Go out there, check them out,
Absolutely.
and try to do as much research as you can on the house, and you get to see it at different times.
Yeah.
They're usually on the weekends, so when there's more people around.
Exactly.
So I think that's really good.
Exactly. So touring. We've toured, we've looked at a bunch of homes, we've found one that we were in love with. Now what?
So this is the hard part. And we're going to elaborate a lot more of this in
another
future
video.
videos. But the next one is, submitting an offer. How do you submit a strong competitive offer? Last year we saw multiple offers on properties because there wasn't enough there wasn't enough inventory in the market, and we're starting to see that again. So understand the contingencies. I can understand your rights. I can understand the different sections of the contract that you can waive, that you can negotiate to make it a strong offer. And don't expect the offer to be accepted right away. Keep in mind it can come back counter offer. So then you're starting to negotiate. So that is a whole, I think,
That's
video.
a whole nother video.
Yeah. So, there is the submitting the offer part, but let's just say you submitted the offer, the house gets accepted, and then what happens right after that?
I just want to say one more thing about submitting an offer. Submitting an offer and making it a strong offer, like Mark was talking about, hinges on all of the pre-work that you've done. Your financing, your, knowing how much you want to put down, how much you have for earnest money. Those are all things that are going to come into writing your offer. So do our homework up front, and we'll be able to submit a good, strong offer for you.
And you bring up a good point. It's much better to have all your ducks in a row, so you are going in as strong as you possibly can, versus, if we should have done this or if we would have done that. So there is quite a bit of pre-work.
Right.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, no worries. So you've made your offer, and it was accepted, which is awesome and exciting. The next thing is getting your money to escrow, your earnest money, so that they know you're serious. Escrow is going to hold your money. That's a whole nother video about escrow. But then we go into inspections. So in your offer, you have probably written in an inspection contingency, which is super important. You're going to hire an inspector, and we will be there with you, and we will walk you through with the inspector. They go through the house with a fine-tooth comb. They point out everything that is good, bad, and indifferent about the house, so that I look at inspection reports. Sometimes they can be lengthy. I look at it as a kind of a lifelong punch list for the house, for as long as you're going to be into it, rather than, oh my gosh, we have to fix all this stuff at once. The inspectors will tell you what are the critical items, like a roof or the systems, like the heat or whatever. But they will walk you through, what you need to take care of immediately, and then we can talk about what may be a negotiating point. So inspection is your next step before we move towards closing.
Yeah. So, Sue did bring up a little point on there that there is that other portion of negotiating there, because you come back and you're just like, wow, there's a plumbing issue, or the roof is leaking.
Or a sewer issue.
Or sewer issue, which is, a big one too, especially with all these beautiful trees that grow everywhere and the roots just get into things. But that's another thing. You can go back and say, you know what, we want this fixed. Or sometimes they'll say, we'll fix it. Sometimes, no, we won't fix it. There's a way to get out of the deal with that too.
It just gives you points of negotiation.
Yeah, so there's like so much that you can do. So another part that's very important to have a realtor with you to walk through that. And the other key thing before we move on is when the inspector's there and they're doing a walk through the house, that is the best way for you to get to know the house that you're looking to buy. Because they're getting into all the nooks and crannies, saying, look at this, look at that, this is what this. Age of the house, this is really good. Yeah. So,
exactly.
So, all right, so then the next step after inspection.
So we've got our inspection done.
Okay.
We've negotiated. We're moving towards closing. What happens? Closing.
Well, at closing, yes. So at closing, when you go to sign your final papers, after you've signed your loan documents, you're signing, you go and you turn in the last bit of your down payment. At the escrow signing, you sign all these documents. It looks like you're signing your life away. And then the next day, when the county finally records the transaction and you get county records, then it's a done deal. Then the house is yours. So that following day after you sign escrow is typically from closing to when it gets recorded is when you legally become the owner.
And then we hand you the keys.
Yes. So then you get your keys and...
One quick thing though, usually a day or two before closing, I do a final walkthrough. It's always recommended to do a final walkthrough. If the sellers were still living in the home, you want to make sure that all the things that are supposed to be in the home are there, refrigerators, other appliances, things that are supposed to be included. There have been surprises sometimes when people get the keys and they go to the house and they're like, oh my gosh, where is that big Sub-Zero refrigerator? And the owners took it with them. So
also
you want to
damage.
or damage, maybe when they were moving out or something, the wall got scraped or gouged or something. But you want to do that final walkthrough with your agent before you sign the papers so that everything is as you expect it to be, so that you don't get surprises when you walk in the house for the first time.
Yeah, and I have clients that forgo that. Like,
some people do.
I'm good. And okay, it's up to you, but I really think, just like you said, it's important to do that final walkthrough to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I had a client who bought down in Kent, and everything was good. Did the final walkthrough. Well, it just so happens that when the stagers were moving the furniture out, they hit a window and they broke it.
Oops.
But
things happen.
Yeah, things happened. They got fixed before they moved in, so not a big deal. But that's benefit to that.
Yeah.
So.
And also, if my clients can't do the walkthrough, I make an effort to do the walkthrough for them, and just say, "Hey, I did the final walkthrough. I know you guys couldn't make it, and everything looks great. Let's proceed."
Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else that we want to add to this one?
I think that is a lot of information. We just want to give you an overview of the process so that you can, have an idea, and that, whether you're a first-time home buyer returning to the market, new to an area, we want you to be really, really well prepared and ask a lot of questions. So we hope we've given you some good information to get your thought process in gear, and we hope to see you out there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, I think that's really great. And, this is a great introduction, I think, to kind of talk about what we're going to be doing and the service that we want to provide and the information we want to give you. The other thing is, please look us up on our website, markchavezrealty.com.
And I'm Sue at Willoughby Fine Homes.
The video links will be in our blog section there, and then please subscribe to the video link if you want to make sure to get all these updates as we roll them out, so you become a much savvier home buyer or seller. We are going to be focusing here on the Seattle market, but a lot of this really applies across the nation.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you, and it was a pleasure, and we look forward to hearing feedback from you. So if you have any feedback, reach out to us and let us know.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.